I'm going to start with Shannon here. How big of a deal is the cell phone incident?
I think it's a big deal for me. I'm a big family guy. And I don't care what the game is, Skip. It could be the Super Bowl. It could be a World Series. It can be an NBA Finals game. If your wife is having a baby or your child is sick or a loved one is sick and you choose to miss that game, you have my blessing.
Okay.
But all I ask, if you're there, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here, because he didn't play, I guess he was inactive. If that's the case, Skip, because my thing is, if you worried about that and you're here, your mind's not in the game. Mm-hmm. Why not just stay with your family, take care of that situation? When she's better, you come back to us. Mm-hmm. That's my only problem, and I get it. But for me, the most important thing, and it tells me that you have to have a phone on you, that the situation might be a little dire, you need to be there firsthand. Yep. You don't need to come to this ball game because guess what? They were going to play again tonight, and they're going to play again probably Thursday, Friday night, and they're going to have another game after that. Mm-hmm. Take care of that business first. That's my only problem that I have with this situation. I don't need to know what's going on with his daughter. That's between him and the organization of the Sixers. Sure. But this was not a very good look. And then you got Joel Embiid involved in the situation. Joel definitely needed to have his mind into the ball game, but I would have just preferred in a situation like this, if your daughter is sick or a loved one is sick, mm-hmm. and you're going to bring the phone, which tells me, Skip, your mind is not going to be really focused on this because it's hard to compartmentalize. Some people can do it, but clearly in this situation, he wasn't going to be able to. I just believe he and the Sixers would have been better served had he stayed with his wife or whomever it is and his daughter. I believe he would have been better served, and the Sixers organization would have been better served.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with him. If she's that sick, and I don't think we know exactly the nature of the illness, but yeah, if he would have called off, because obviously, like you said, he was inactive as it was. But I don't think it was that big of a deal. It was wrong. Right. It was a bad look, and Embiid did nothing wrong. He happened to sit next to Amir, and Amir says, something. You know, most people are going to look down or whatever. It's a teammate. So I don't think Embiid did anything wrong. Amir was wrong for having his cell phone with him. However, in today's day and age, as bad as it is, I can see a player today thinking, I'm inactive, I can have my phone with me, my daughter's sick, let me check. You know, like it's not that big of a deal. If you are active and you're going to play, then there's no reason. And again, I don't think he should have had the cell phone anyway.
But that's the thing.
But certainly if you're active.
If he's inactive, why even come?
No, I feel you on that. But I don't know how sick she is. It may not be a huge sickness. Again, we don't know. Either way, you can always have team doctors and people getting word to you as it is. Again, it was wrong. I think the Sixers have handled it perfectly. You fine him. You don't make a huge deal out of it because I don't think it's – if Embiid had the cell phone or Simmons or somebody that's playing, even if it was Amir Johnson and he had been playing, he's active, I think it would have been even worse. But it was bad, but I don't think it was, like, horrible.
How did the team react to this? How did Brett Brown, the coach, react to this?
He was livid.
They didn't give any pass to Amir Johnson. So they probably know the backdrop of this, how sick the daughter is, or not sick. I don't know. I have no idea. But they gave him no pass. And if they had really thought he deserved one, any sympathy here, they would have protected him. And they would have gone to great lengths to explain what the situation was. And they did not. They went right after him right after the game. And Brett Brown was also not happy with Joel Embiid. And I don't think he should have been either. And I disagree with you that he did nothing wrong. Yeah. You can say he's kind of a victim of it because you can't seem insensitive. But still, you're in the middle of game one of the playoffs. And I've said all year, Joel Embiid is the new beast of the East post-LeBron.
Right.
But now you got to live up to it. And I still consider him the leader of that team, which may be the problem with that team, because you have to have enough focus that you wouldn't even acknowledge the cell phone. And I get it. Again, it's hard for us to talk about because we don't know how.
It's instinctive.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know one guy who used to be the beast of the East up in Chicago, and if you'd tried that stunt on him during a playoff game, you would have had hell to pay, and it wouldn't matter how sick your daughter was. To your point. Then go home. Go be with her. That's fine. But you can't be distracting the star player, nor can he acknowledge during the fourth quarter. It's just such a bad look. It's part and parcel of what's wrong with this basketball team. There's something missing at the heart of this team, the desire, the commitment, the sacrifice you have to make to win championships. They're not showing it to me. They're better than Brooklyn. And I know Brooklyn's a really good basketball team, and Brooklyn has a bench that Philly no longer has. And I know that Joel has some big knee issue that almost cost him the start in that game. And so I'm not sure how bad it is. But that still doesn't preclude what happened on the bench. You just can't do it on either. He was part of what happened.
And that's my only thing, Chris. I have no problem if someone is having, I've heard people say, I don't care if my wife's having a baby, if it's the Super Bowl, I'm playing, or if it's the World Series, or yada yada, I'm playing. Okay, that's you. You and your wife make that decision that you're going to be there or you're not going to be there. I got no problem either way. But all I ask is that you do is that when you be here, you be present. And being present means I need your undivided attention. Now, if what's going on back home is more than you can handle and you're not going to be able to focus on the job at hand, I would prefer you stay at home. That's all.
I get it, but again, I don't think that had any impact on Embiid. I don't think that had anything to do with the way he played. And Amir didn't play. So I agree it was wrong, but they got far worse problems than that.
Well, Ben Simmons needs to play better.
Right. Where I agree with you,
play
Skip,
at all.
Where I agree with you is this does get to the heart, even though I don't think Embiid did anything wrong. It gets to the heart. Embiid and Simmons are not mature enough yet to lead them deep in the playoffs.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Embiid's just a silly, happy-go-lucky. He's just not ready yet.
I got it.
And Simmons, I mean, you saw everything. We can talk about his play on the court, but the comments he made afterwards about the fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, stay on that side. Ben Simmons, and I've sat on here and I've praised him. I feel kind of crazy now I compared him to Magic Johnson early in his career. He has become a liability to them.
Yeah.
Because offensively, it's 4 on 5.
Yeah.
Period.
He can only
Unless
lay it up
he's in
or
the
dunk.
post.
Yes.
And then when you put him in the post, that forces Embiid
away.
for spacing to go outside. And now I got Embiid taking 5 3-pointers and going 0 for 5.
0 for
Some
5.
of it's Embiid's fault. I agree. He wants to go out there.
He loves to hang
But
around
at the same time, for spacing, they kind of have to get the big out of there because Simmons is down.
Right.
So they got some serious issues. I think they'll still win this series, but they can't guard Brooklyn's guards.
No.
Simmons and Redick can't stay in front of them. And you saw Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, and D'Angelo Russell had field days.
The first two guys you named came off the bench.
Right. And they made the 5th most three-pointers per game in the season. So when they penetrate, if you don't stop them, they're kicking out. This could go 7.
Oh, yeah. And Embiid is injured, and he almost not missed the game. They're not beating Brooklyn with a 50% Joel Embiid.
I agree.
Because Ben Simmons, as you mentioned, he's not mature enough. Look, they keep on talking about, he can develop a jump shot. Well, he needs to get on it.
Yeah.
Because right now he's a liability on the offensive end, Skip, because anything outside of 8 feet, he ain't making.
What did we see?
He didn't even take it.
What did we see in his 1 year at LSU when he obviously did not want to be there for that 1 year, coming from Australia, saying, I have to go here to Baton Rouge for 1 year before I can play the real basketball?
You gotta do it.
But he was not invested. He was not committed. He had low motor. And I kept saying on TV, is that the real guy, or will he take it up a notch when he becomes a pro basketball player? And I don't see the motor run hot. I don't see the killer will in him that you need. He's got star ability in him, obviously, because he's got the passing gift, and how tall do we say he is?
6'10".
6'10".
Okay, all right.
He can do everything except shoot.
Well, that's kind of hard. That's like a
today's
pitcher.
NBA.
Man, that pitcher, that joke can do everything but pitch. Right. But you a pitcher.
20 years ago, certainly in the 80s, that would have been okay.
Yes.
Maybe.
Today's NBA,
Yep.
you can't.
No.
There's no way.
Well, he does have some Magic potential, but Magic taught himself
How to
shoot
shoot.
fast.
Magic was a decent set. He had that set shot.
Yeah, the push shot. But that's the thing, Skip. You talk about LeBron needing to shoot 1,000 free throws. Ben Simmons needs to shoot 1,000 shots a day.
A day.
No question.
And then, I hate to say this, people laugh at this, but you know who they miss the most on this team? they missed Bellinelli and Ilyasova because
they got
coming off the
shooters.
bench, and they would come out and they were fearless, tough, mentally tough guys who would change the flow of the game.
Right.
Now they got Mike Scott coming off the bench, and I've just never loved him. He goes 1 for 8 from 3. Okay,
But Skip, you can't have your two starters. J.J. Redick scored 5 points and Ben Simmons scored 9. That's
You can't.
14.
You're gonna
You can't-
lose.
And when you get guys like coming off their bench and they getting almost 60 points from their bench,
Yep.
you got no chance.
Also, Brett Brown, he could be out after this.
Hey, I was saying that yesterday.
Right.
He is on the hottest of seats, and if this goes south in this series, he's gone.
Oh, yeah, he'll definitely go. And if they lose the next series, if they get there, that's probably not enough either. Yeah. He gets out coached when they face tacticians.
Yes.
That's why I said on this show, there's no way they'll beat Boston. There is absolutely, they won't face them until they get to the conference finals if that happens. But a team, and then Kenny Atkinson is a similar to a Brad Stevens. He got these guys overachieving. They play as hard as anybody in the league, and they're tactical. And that's the type of coach. You see it. I mean, Brett, he hasn't figured out, how am I getting Tobias Harris involved? He didn't run any plays for Tobias Harris. Get him involved. That guy can score. You know, I think they expect Harris and Redick to just play off the other guys. You know, and that's, you got to come up with some better schemes.
Tonight is the biggest game of Brett Brown's career.
Oh, yeah, you go down 0-2, it's over. If they go down 0-2, it's over. If they go down 0-2, Chris, it's over.
Because I don't think they got the heart to come back.
I agree.
Well, I think it might go, if Philly wins tonight, it still might go 7, and the Sixers might win it.
Feels like they shouldn't be figuring out
think
this
it's going
stuff
forward?
right now. Well, they
And
got to make a change quick.